Good morning, Gills fans. Welcome back to Gills in the Blood TV. Myself and Boz this morning going to do our match preview for Saturday's game. Originally the battle of Adrian Pennock and Justin Edinburgh after last season's shenanigans on the final day, but obviously that's not the case anymore. Both have been sacked. Somewhat surprisingly, some might say Justin went before AD, but they've both gone. It's now the battle, unless anything happens between today and Saturday. It'll be Steve Lovell against Jimmy Floyd. But before we get onto that, Tuesday, very good. First whistle to last whistle, I tweeted to a man, we were brilliant. Billy Bingham, I think rightfully got man of the match. But underneath him there was probably 5 or 6 that you could have put in contention. Who you've said?
Zach White, Amar, Eves.
Eves was very good again, who done his usual, loves the Raynham end. Looks like a poor pub footballer at times. I'm probably sure he'll say that as well, but he knows what his limitations are, I think. But he knows.
He's effective, he's causing problems.
But the skill sets that he does have, he's very effective with them, and we've got balls into the box again. Delivery from Sean Clare is first class. I didn't realise how good it was at the time.
No, Stocky loves it, he's really rates him.
But it's a really good header, and he's having his shirt pulled as well. I think there's a case for a penalty.
It's in 2 big centre halves.
Yeah, they were huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. I think he might have been the shortest of the 3, that shows you the size of Dan Byrne and Shay Dunkley. But yeah, a really good performance.
We tried to win it. You know, a month ago we'd have sat back at 1-0.
Yeah.
We kept trying.
Stocky spoke about Bolton, didn't he, last season at home. That first 15 minutes we got absolutely bashed, but we stood firm, didn't concede, whereas Bolton last year, I think
the first 7 minutes hasn't got out of the box, it was just
we were just sitting there going, this is going to be a really long night, weren't we? And it was almost just waiting for Wigan to take the lead. I think there was like 4 corners in the first 5 minutes, but to be fair, I said on the match day live, when we did get the ball, we was all right with it. We just weren't getting enough of it in the first quarter of an hour, 20 minutes. But after that, we were really good. Anyway, you've probably listened to us on the match day live talk about that. So we're going to move on to Saturday's game as usual. Medway Messenger, big headline. Steve Lovell says, "I can make it work." 4 on Scully's shortlist as Lovell stakes his claim. Ugh, that's the wrong tea bag. That's herbal tea with milk, not anything. Anyway, sorry, that wasn't very nice. Gillingham chairman Paul Scally is closing in on a new manager, and Steve Lovell hopes it's him ahead of Tuesday night's game against league leaders Wigan, which the Gills drew 1-1 under caretaker boss Lovell. Mr Scally has narrowed his shortlist down to 4 people. Graham Wesley odds on. Ugh. Keith Millen. Steve Evans. We know what he's about as a person and as a football manager, but he's struggling at Mansfield, so it might be that he becomes available soon rather than we have to go and play compensation.
He's had a meeting with the chairman.
And Steve Lovell. So Mad Dog seems to be dead in the water now, but then that was only talked about as probably till the end of the season, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sean Derry seems to have gone quiet out of them 4. At first, you tweeted yesterday your fors and against for Lovell, so I'm going to let you talk about that.
Yeah, for me it's only a short-term thing. While it's been good, and it has been good the last 2 games, we're not sitting back, we're trying. We're actually having a go, and that's what we want.
Yeah.
On the swing side of that, if you get the job lose the next 3 or 4 on the bounce, suddenly people will be calling for his head, and they'll be going back to he's one of the old boys, he's Scally's pal, blah blah blah.
Another Adrian Pennock, yeah.
And then we're going to want him out, and we're going to be back in the same situation we were with Pennock a month ago.
Yep,
so
there's the risk of
while
that.
he's doing really well at the moment, for me it's only a short-term thing. I think he should stay at the club, he should be involved, definitely.
He was part of the 4, wasn't he, when they picked up when Taylor went 2-3 years ago, before Edinburgh took over.
He's also been involved with the Pennock brain quite heavily. And so no, for now, brilliant. He's had a real effect on him, he's obviously given him a lift. But for me, it's a short term.
In terms of chances created, I suppose we could keep him there as some sort of striker coach, because let's be honest, up until Peterborough, it's been slim pickings.
This season, at start season, how often will we kicking the ball to his feet, and said before his touches were great.
Yeah,
it goes in.
Or we was punting it up in the air to Elliot List.
Yeah.
Who, in fairness, ironically, won a few headers Tuesday night against Dan Byrne, which was really impressive to see. Out of the 4 though, who would you pick? To me, it's Lovell or Evans.
It's Evans with Lovell in there.
Yeah, that'd probably be.
You know, we all know what Steve Evans' past is, and out of football he's probably not a very nice bloke, but in football
he generally gets results.
he does. He gets it, and he did well at Crawley, at Rotherham. He done quite well at Leeds. Mansfield probably punches above their weight this season.
Someone said to me about the Steve Lovell thing, just to go off on a tangent again yesterday. I put something on Facebook and he said, well, he's got to get the job now. Northampton's not really important. And I said, but I think Northampton is the important one.
Yeah, because as we said before, it's alright, it's not just this season, seasons past where we've got up for games against the bigger teams, the teams higher up.
That's it.
But Northampton are around us, and if we take points off them, it's points they're not going
Saturday, we're probably going to be slight favourites, weirdly enough.
Which is probably the first time
the first two have been... Saturday there was probably a bit of pressure on first game. But Saturday winning made Tuesday a massive free swing. It didn't matter. But now
last week, didn't we? If we took 4 points from this week, we'd be happy. If we get 3 points in Northampton, 7 out of 9.
7 out of 9 in a week. He has to be considered, regardless of whether we think yes or no, doesn't he? So,
he's definitely
but again, it depends on, like you said, if you give him the job till the end of the season, and then he gets sacked in a month. Those that Scally wants, again, whether we don't agree, but might be unavailable.
Yeah, Evans between now and then might.
Take another job, or Mansfield might have picked up and he decides he don't want to go. So
now Scally mentioned about the whole tedious process of replacing manager. Well, let's not.
Fingers crossed he's doing something properly this year. But bottom line is we want results, and he's churning out results at the moment. So fingers crossed it continues for as long as it has to.
It makes the process. There's not so much of a rush, if you know what I mean.
All right, we're doing well, of course.
Every day I'm checking to. I want us to announce a manager, but all the while he's in there and he's doing a good job. Scally's probably thinking, I can maybe take my time slightly. Yeah,
you can get it done properly, exactly, and go through the proper right processes. A little bit more on the back page in terms of Saturday, Luke O'Neill close to returning. We said on Tuesday on the Matchday Live, I think it was in the programme notes, that it was one of the 3 defenders, which is Lacey, Ben Nugent or Luke O'Neill. So it now seems that Luke O'Neill's got a chance. Bradley Garmston should be available.
Yeah.
We obviously had a little bit of a whinge on Tuesday, but it seems that they took advice from the sports scientist.
Said it was rested,
yeah, and Mark Byrne was rested as well, it seems.
Yeah, but he's just had a bang, so.
Which was odd. So unless the hamstring's still causing him a problem, but I think he
if
struggles to get back in.
O'Neill's available, I don't think O'Neill will go straight back in. Because Claire, I don't really like him back there. I'd rather him further forward, but he's been decent.
But it's worked, hasn't it? So then if you put O'Neill in and move Claire further forward, you then lose one of...
disrupting that back 4 or 5, whichever.
And it'd be harsh on one of the front 3 that you'd have to pull out, because you'd have to lose a Neves, a Parker, a List, or a Lee Martin. And I don't think...
problems, don't they?
Pace at this level, said it for ages. Inside, Gill's growing in confidence, change of tactics key for Lovell. Steve Lovell was thrilled with the point on Tuesday, but knew it could have been more. We said that was the only disappointing thing for us, was that 15-minute spell.
You said that a few weeks ago, and we were disappointed at only drawing with the league leaders.
Exactly, someone you'd have laughed at, or he probably got taken away and put in a cell somewhere. But it is only 2 games. We have to keep reiterating that. It's not 5 or 6. But at the moment, we look like potentially we could go on a little run.
Yeah, I think we makes it slightly more attractive to the next manager coming in.
Fingers crossed, yeah. And we could... The trouble is we've had such a poor start that even a good run there means it's going to take a while to start getting out the top half of the table. Sorry, mid-table. But Steve Lovell changed the tactics. I started with a formation which I thought could cause them problems when we had the ball, but in the first 10 minutes, we've alluded to that. I don't think we had the ball. We had to change it quickly and went 4-4-2. It worked and the boys grew into the game, and in the end we created a few chances, and I'm disappointed we only scored the 1. Fair play. Doing it on the job, I've got no problem with that. It's all right having a system that you want to start with, but don't be afraid to change it and change it early. And we laughed, didn't we? Because we saw the team line up on the way to the ground and we said, it could be 4-4-2 flat, 4-4-2 diamond, or 4-2-3-1, and we turned up and they rolled up 3-5-2. So there's flexibility with that system without having to make substitutions, which is good. And I'm going to talk about him quickly because you've not been a fan of him, Stocky's not been a fan of him, and I've not been a fan of him, purely from the fact that he comes from a Premier League club. Connor Ogilvy's been bang average for me this season, but I thought he was really good Tuesday night.
I think prior to Tuesday, the only game that I've watched, I thought he was decent, was the first home game.
Which was Bradford, I think, it was 1-0, he had fresh air shot right at the end.
I think Josh Parker left him a bit short a couple of times, didn't he? But he recovered and he did well. Yeah,
and then like I say, apart from the fresh air shot right at the end when we was clinging on for the draw, which we all sort of went, and we're just hoping we didn't hear the announcer say it's 2-1 to Wigan. But yeah, apart from that, I thought he was decent, and fingers crossed he's another one that can kick on from there.
Maybe he'll improve having Garmston back, and suddenly he's not first choice. He's not guaranteed his place.
Competition, we've said that all the time. We need competition. So Fans show approval. The fans let Chairman Paul Scully know who they want to be Gillingham's next manager after a super performance against Wigan. Pre-match bookies' favourites Graham Wesley was sat in the stands, but it was Steve Lovell's name they were chanting at the Priestfield on Tuesday. Tom Eaves returned from suspension with the opening goal, and it was only a late stunner from Wigan captain Sam Morsey, not Sam Manton that I said in the Matchday Live, I do apologise, that denied Gills all 3 points. Had they taken their chances, it certainly would have been. Again, as we've said, it was disappointing, but for me, the promise is we're suddenly creating chances.
Yeah. It's not like, again, going back to Pennant, but where we'd only have 1 or 2 chances a game.
What did we say? Stocky said it every week up until before Peterborough. All it was long throws and set pieces. That was it.
Yeah.
But now, we look like we could create stuff in open play again. I will do the last paragraph. I always do Luke's last paragraph. Or 2. Lovell might not have the experience of Wesley or the contacts like Keith Millen, another possible contender in the crowd on Tuesday, but he's got the team playing with purpose, he's got the buzz back among the crowd, and he's finally given the place a lift. The chairman made it clear in his programme notes pre-match that he was the one making the decision on the next boss, but he simply can't ignore the way Lovell has brought the Gills back to life. Sums it up perfectly for me.
Sounds to me like he's already made his mind up.
So, well, I don't know, I think that's just him surmising, but just looking at the match ratings here quickly. 7, 8, 8, 8, 7, 7, 9, 7, 8.
Very similar, isn't it?
I did no one lower than 7, the same as us. They've gone Eves 9, they gave him man of the match. Oh, Bingham 9 as well, so they couldn't separate them. I just thought, I know Tom Eves scores the goal, and it was nice to see the sponsors, because historically us Gillingham
we laugh,
sponsors
don't we, every week when
score a goal, get man of the match. But no, it was good. But I thought Billy Bingham over the 90 minutes was, excuse me, was better than Tom Eves. Yeah, Eves was poor, not poor first half, but he had a couple of times where he just looked a bit clumsy. Shouting men this week is Darren Oldacre. Why free kicks are my favourite goal. FA Cup has now been confirmed. It will be Leyton Orient Saturday the 5th of November. It looks like it will be. Kent Trophy game's been moved. I see originally the Kent FA tweeted with the date the 31st of October, which I was looking forward to. It's now the first week in December, so we'll have to wait a bit for that. And Jack Tucker reflects on dream debut. Teenager Jack Tucker admitted making his Football League debut for Gills against Portsmouth live on Sky Sports was a dream come true. The 17-year-old was named on the bench amid a Priestfield defensive crisis for then interim boss Peter Taylor. He said, I played 6 first-team games in pre-season which helped the players get to know me and get to know the style of play. I didn't think I'd be making my league debut so soon. I wasn't 100% sure I'd even be on the bench, but some close family and friends were there on the slight chance I might be. And then obviously we all know that Ben Nugent got injured and he came on and he done all right. So I'm not saying he's ready to be playing consistently yet, but it's promising that there's another youngster coming through. Right, Saturday. Favourites. Different scenario again then. I noticed they were 2-0 down in the week at Rochdale. I think they managed to pick up a point, so it's halted there. Quite alarming slump since because he started really well, Jimmy Floyd, and then they got bashed at the weekend, didn't they? I think was that, when did they lose 6-0 to someone, didn't they, recently?
Bristol
Rovers at home, and the goalkeeper got man of the match, Northampton, so that tells you how much he had to do. But in terms of our team, I don't think we change it too much. Even like you said, if Luke O'Neill's available, Garmston and Mark Byrne are the 3 that look like it, I'd put them back on the bench. Yeah, I wouldn't put them in. I can't see how Mark Byrne gets in centre midfield before Bingham and Jake Essenthaler now. Not at all. So again, it's a couple of numbers back, and as you say, the bench should look a lot stronger. Liam Nash not involved again at all, so obviously he's been told to get his head down. Results from Tuesday. AFC Wimbledon 3, Rotherham 1. We've said it plenty of times, Rotherham win at home a lot, they lose away a lot. Wimbledon finally seem to be up and running a little bit. That's back-to-back wins, I think, for them, isn't it? Wimbledon, Blackburn 1, Plymouth 1. Better result for Plymouth away from home.
Did that got the goal for?
He did, yeah, it was an equaliser as well, because I think Plymouth took the lead. I think that was Carey again, so that's 2-2 for him. Blackpool 2, Bury 1, went with form. Bradford 1, Oldham 1. Richie Wellens dropped points for the first time. Did get announced last night. He's got the job full time, which is understandable. What's that? They've taken 13 out of 15, I think, since he took over. Doncaster 2, Portsmouth 1. Portsmouth again, just when you think they're going on a run, they won back-to-back games for the first time, and then they drop off again. Weird. Gillingham 1, Wigan 1, we know about that. MK Dons 1, Walsall 1, probably a slightly better result for Walsall. Oxford 1, Charlton 1, not a bad point for either. Rochdale, Northampton 2 all, as we've said. You'd say that's probably a better point for Northampton after being behind. Scunthorpe, Fleetwood 1 all, probably went with where they are in the table. There's only about 3 places separate them. Shrewsbury bandwagon rolls on, gathers more pace. They won 4-0 at home to Bristol Rovers. They are top of the league because obviously we took points off the Latics. And Southend 1, Peterborough 1. Stops Peterborough's mini slump. So you'd probably say that's a better point from them having to go away. That's it for us for today, I think. Match prediction for Saturday before we go.
We'll go 1-0 to us again.
I'm going to go a bit more positive. I'm going to go 2-0. I think we created plenty, and I think if you look at Northampton's side, no disrespect, it's not as good as Wigan's backline. When you're looking at Dan Byrne, Nathan Byrne, Shay Dunkley, I can't remember who played left back, but Wigan are a better side than Northampton. Yeah. If we play as well as we did Tuesday and we create as many chances, I think we'll get a couple. Defensively, I think we'll be strong enough. I'm going to go 2-0 Gillingham. So 2 wins, 2 clean sheets. Something's going on. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Please keep doing the usual, and until Saturday, up the Gills.